document because the state probably needs it. Then the Republicans, if you do cut that much money, who are they going to tax next to replace it? Or two, are they going to stand up and say, I want to cut universities, I want to cut hospitals, and then be the authors of those bills making those kind of cuts? I think we're in a Mexican standoff. And the bottom line is the standoff is about accepting this, which is not that unpopular, or trying to find something else. So my prediction is the penny will be renewed, it'll be accepted, and the legislature will move on and get past it, and it'll we'll have at least for the next few years a budget that we don't deal with hundreds of millions of dollars every year trying to figure out what to cut. This penny takes that away and smooths the process to make it simple for our audience. It makes the process simple. Louisiana pretty much almost has a balanced budget. It's dramatically different from $500, $600, $700, $800 million budget deficits we've dealt with over the last 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 years. So this gave stability to our funding for government. Why go mess with it and undo the penny, and then where you're going to find all that money that's needed to replace it? I just don't see it happening. The simplest way out is renew the tax, is my prediction.
Why don't you tell us about the governor's loss in terms of the taxes? The Republicans are claiming victory.
Well, I don't know if it's a loss. I think that the governor would rather not run for re-election with a 10% sales tax that primarily hurts poor people. If you look at polling data, the people who get hurt the most are poor and lower middle class. Middle income and upper income people say that which is the tax they don't want to pay it, but they're saying if I have to pay to save something, I'll do the sales tax because everybody pays it, and not just rich people. So why wouldn't the Republicans? So the Republicans and Governor Edwards are. Do you say it's a loss for him? I think it's a win for him because he didn't have to cut, dramatically state government. On the other side of the street is a PR loss for him. We don't know that until the candidate emerges. But I'm sure the governor would rather replace the penny, which hurts primarily his Democratic type voters, versus the Republicans. The Republicans ought to be content to sit there and let him run with 10 cents, which primarily hammers his voters. So I'm not so sure that we can say that he's hurt or he's damaged. We won't know that until this race. But I know one thing: he'd rather be sitting here with that penny, not explaining to the public about why he cut most of state services. So the winners and losers, I don't really buy that. I think the Republicans and Democrats both came out okay after the last year's session. I think they both did the right thing, and I think the governor did the right. And now we're starting to focus too much attention on how will this affect the governor and is his popularity. Everything's tied to this session and the next session and the next session as to who's going to be the next governor. And that's kind of what we're looking at now, Stephen. The governor is in a very red state. He's almost out of place. The Republicans dominate the legislature, especially in the House. And Bernie Pinsonat as a pollster, I mean, I'm sitting here, I looked at Trump last year, I looked at the Kennedy United States Senate, big win for the Republicans. This is Bernie Pinsonat, who's polling in red state Louisiana. If I were polling in Massachusetts, I would say how unpopular Trump is and how the Republicans will never win in this state again. You can almost say the Democrats may never win in Louisiana, maybe 10, 15, 20 years. The Republicans, if I were polling in Massachusetts, I could say, I don't know, the Republicans, when will they really be strong again? Maybe never, which is a lifetime of the pollster or political lifetime. But John Bel Edwards got elected, and that's the consequences of being elected governor in a red state. I mean, everything works against you, especially when the Republicans are now looking at Louisiana like the Republicans looked at Washington, D.C. Let's not give Obama anything. Let's hold out and hope we win with a Republican, and then the Republican will spend the money more wisely. The Republicans will not raise taxes as the Democratic governor just did. So they're right now playing with house money. The ball's in their court. They're going to slow things down until they think, and the odds are Governor Evans is not a cinch to lose, but certainly if you're looking at what the strength of the Republican Party in Louisiana, he's not going to have an easy time getting reelected unless he gets the help from the Republicans, which he got elected with help from the Republicans. I continue to say it's almost impossible for a Democrat to win a statewide race in Louisiana. He's the only one. And the reason he won was because the Republicans went out and destroyed each other and elected him. Can that happen again? Sure, it can happen again, but Republicans don't think so. They think that standstill budgets, no new taxes, all this new talking about gasoline tax or all these taxes that anyone wants to raise, they're not going to do it because they think that a Republican will be in charge in a very short time, and let's bide our time and wait for the Republican to come back and win governor. And that's what John Bel Edwards is now looking at. That's going to be the politics of the next 2.5 years. And everybody better get used to it because that's what is upon us. He uncannily said, where's the Republicans' plans? Well, now we know what the Republicans' plan is. No new taxes, no new spending. We're going to wait till a Republican governor replaces you, and we'll take our chances.
So that's their game plan?
Well, I'm not saying that's a game plan, but it certainly looks like it to me. I don't know what the game plan is, but the game plan, based on what you're seeing right now, is pretty obvious. That they think that they're doing the same thing that happened in Washington. And by the way, the Republicans in all over the United States, they weren't for the Republicans in Congress helping Barack Obama. The Republicans in Louisiana are not going to shed a tear if the Republicans aren't helping John Bel Edwards. That's what the politics of America is about now. There is no this. We want to help everybody succeed and get things done. I don't know. I keep hearing people talk about that, Stephen. That's daydreaming. If I call in Louisiana and say, do you think they're not getting things done in Baton Rouge, or do you think they're not getting things done in Washington? And if I call the person who votes in that guy's district or that state rep's district, he or she, they want them to not raise taxes. They want them to decrease state spending. And so it plays right into the hands. They want state government to function. They want it to function efficiently. But when it comes to their philosophy, they want that state representative, that state senator, to represent them as a Republican. They acknowledge that things aren't functioning, and they cry how bad it is, but at the same time, they want that state legislator, that senator, to vote the way they're voting because they don't want to support more taxes and more spending. So it's like people can't stand the way our government isn't functioning anymore. Yeah, that's a topical answer, but it's not true. That same person, if you call America, the Democrats don't want the Democrats helping Donald Trump. The Democrats are doing just what they wanted to do, not giving one nickel, fighting to the death on every issue. Well, what's so different about Louisiana? We're here now. That's the plan of the Republicans, and it's. I hate to be the one to call attention to this, but that's what the polls showed. That's what the Trump election was about. And most Republicans in Louisiana are electing who? Republicans. They're not going to have any white Democrats. Very few white Democrats will be left. So why should the Republicans give in to the Democrats on what they want when they know that they're literally in control of the state.